Hi, this is Shui with a review of a Reebok Retro that's going on sale these days, at least here in Korea, perhaps in other countries as well. This is called the Avant Guard, as in Avant Guard with the guard being Guard, like the basketball position. This was actually seen on the feet of Clyde Drexler in the '96 season after the Rockets won the championships in '95. So what we wonder was what was he? Some people might have mistaken it as, oh, this is what the Glide won the championship with or in, but no, he actually won the championship in a shoe called AVR with a similar pattern like this, black on the inside, white on the outside type of dual tone coloring scheme. So after that, in the '96, he wore this. It was a low cut version. The Rockets did not have a great run in the playoffs. They were destroyed by the Jazz. This is a nice little retro. The midsole material, the EVA material, is pretty soft, so I will give you props for that. In the '90s, the mid '90s, '96, I remember all the Reebok models had super soft midsole cushioning, and the Hexalite was really good back then. But the Hexalite Retro is a little bit different. If you can tell, these are rigid hexagonal cubes. They just maintain their position and they are resistant to impact. So they're resistant, perhaps a little bit of a bounce there, but the original Hexalite collapsed upon impact. So they actually released the energy, absorbed the impact, and provided some cushioning, better cushioning than this one. But because the original Hexalite collapsed upon impact every time, it will gradually wear off and its resistance will continue to go down to until it reaches basically zero resistance at one point. So the Reebok shoes in the '90s were not that durable. So what Reebok did with the retros is this is sort of like the trinomic cushioning used in Puma. So these are just rigid hexagonal structure that just stays there. So it might provide a little bit of a rebound, doesn't collapse. So it's not as soft as before, not as shock absorbent. Not as helpful as the previous original model, but it is durable. So this is what they did. It's the same thing they did with the Kamikaze Retro, two Hexalites on the forefoot and the heel, but you don't really feel them providing that soft mushiness that they used to provide in the originals. The fit, every Reebok basketball shoe retros, I would suggest going half a size up. Unless you have really narrow feet and you want firm lockdown, then yeah, maybe you go to size, but yeah, half a size up for me. That's the basic rule of thumb. They always have a little bit of a chafing or a poking, pinchy area here. Toe box is a little bit big. This one, compared to other Reebok retros, the toe box is relatively lower, so this is good. The inners, I don't know what kind of materials they use, but it's really soft and it feels like it hugs your foot nicely. Not just the padding, but also the material they use to wrap out the padding, the fabric that's wrapping the padding is also really good. It really hugs your ankle snugly, nicely, without suffocating it. Interesting point is the tongue has these little two holes, reminiscent of the Jordan 6, right? So you can poke it with your finger and pull it. Always a nice little touch. The Hexalite and the heel, you do feel, I don't know if it's the Hexalite or the level of thickness this EVA foam has at the back, but regardless, the heel provides some adequate level of cushioning and softness. But on the forefoot, there's nothing there, but the EVA foam provides decent amount of cushioning. I would say it's comparable to the Zoom Freak ones, which had double stack Zoom Air, which felt like single stack Zoom Air. And on the forefoot, they had nothing but Phylon, but it was very minimal. I would say on the forefoot, this actually feels better than the Zoom Freak one. On the heel, I would say somewhat similar, but a little bit more bounce on the Zoom Freak one. So considering that this goes for like, I don't know, in Korea it sells for less than $50, so you're definitely getting the bang for your bucks. Outsole pattern is shockingly good and durable. It's definitely something that you could roll around outdoors without worrying about the pattern just quickly being erased off the surface. So that's good. They have a nice little decoupled midfoot area, which is good. Still, for some reason, the weight is pretty high. It weighs about more than 420 grams for a size 9. That's quite on the heavier side, but it doesn't feel that heavy. The insole is really good. As you can tell, this Ortholite insole is much thicker than the conventional ones that you find in a lot of models out there. So yeah, good job with the Ortholite insole. And even without the Ortholite insole, you can feel the midsole material is pretty soft and plush. Yeah, a decent shoe. A decent budget model. They could roll around in the outdoors without worrying. Overall, a good job retroing and nice little quality on the midfoot midsole material. But I wish they would bring back the old Hexalite because it served its purpose better than this renewed retroed ones, which is firmer. Maybe there's a way you can find a compromise or somewhat of a balance between durability and instant, immediate comfort and shock absorption in the future.